Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Evan Carthy from evancarthy.com. It is September 16th, 2022. Market is about closed this Friday, but got about 20 more minutes or so around there, and then off to the weekend. So, going to go over a couple markets I'm looking at and what's happened today and what I'm looking forward to moving on for next week. So, starting with the S&P 500 here on the, let's go to the 5-minute chart right here. Really wasn't anything going on for any trades. You can see the semaphores got messed up, and that's what I used to put the inside pitchfork on to get the trade set up, but they're all messed up, so it really wasn't going on for the 5-minute chart for it. But if we want to look at the oversold, overbought, didn't care the MFI down here. You see the price is completely oversold down here for the 4-hour chart. So I'm going to talk about what this has led to for a trade or two right here. Here in the 4-hour chart, and then in the daily chart, it is getting very close as well to getting back down in there. So if price continues to move a little bit down here for the rest of the day, and then probably open it up Sunday and Monday, we'll have the MFI down in the oversold territory for the daily chart. So once, especially once the 4-hour chart happens, and then of course the daily chart being oversold, it is time, if there are any good long setups, to start getting into it. So here on the S&P 500, I did start buying down here with the S&P 500 contract right here. The exit I have is just below the initial exit here on the 1-hour chart, which is where the price initially broke out, because yesterday as that market closed, and then today, or I guess yesterday as it opened after 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, price did break below the red semaphore down here. So when it does that, the exit moves from initially where the breakout we have right here going up all the way to the green line over here. It moves from that to where the initial breakout is. And so that's the big reason why I got in it right there. So hopefully I'll hold it until looking for this thing to get out right here. Just I have my exit just below where the initial breakout is for it had on the pitchfork, the inside pitchfork for it. So that is what I'm looking for right there for that one. Also bought an options on the SPY contract just because I feel there's real good risk reward ratio with everything being, going back here in the 4-hour chart, it being completely oversold down here on the 4-hour chart, and then daily chart, which it getting extremely close to. So may not have that big, pop up here on Monday, maybe not even Tuesday, but definitely sometime next week. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what the exact date will be, but I do expect there from that all the oversold stuff to get kicked out off of there and start moving back up, at least to this level up over here for the S&P 500. So I do think next week we will see a move to the upside eventually, and that's the S&P 500. Moving on to the Russell 2000, we had a couple completions on today. If we go out to the 15-minute chart, you can see this setup. This is a short setup using that one, and that one right there. You can see price broke out of it right here, and it just continued to move on down to this level. So you can see it hit it right there. So that short setup was complete for the Russell 2000. Then we had another one today using the 15-minute chart, and unfortunately I didn't see this till it was way too late to get in, but it initialized over here at about 2 p.m. yesterday, and I wish I really had noticed that because I really would like to get in this one. But as you can see, the price, it would have given you a little bit other chance to get in, but went right down then today. Finished up right there for a nice 416 tick profit for it. Completed it. So that one's said and done there on the 15-minute chart. Looking at the overbought, oversold indicators, again, the Russell 2000, just like the S&P 500, is completely oversold right now. On the 4-hour chart, and then on the daily chart, it's getting very close to being oversold as well for it. And here in the 5-minute chart, there really weren't any intraday trades. The only one was this one, but to be honest, the white semaphore did not form until after this is all way said and done. So there really wasn't anything to go on intraday for the Russell 2000. Moving over to crude oil, we'll go up here on the 1-hour chart because the major move that we have, we're looking for this thing to get complete to the upside, to the long, to the upside, the green line right here. It never hit that, and is now continuing to move forward. Talked about these yesterday. When it's not a trade I'll be looking to get in right now, just because you definitely could have a move lower down here, going down here, and then maybe eventually coming up, hitting over there, maybe just waffling around. So it's really not a lot of. It'd be more like, I don't know, not gambling. Well, pretty much all trading is gambling, where you're betting on which way it's going to go. But I just didn't like the trade was set up, just because one thing, it's not overbought or oversold, it's just middle of no man's land here on the 4-hour chart. Same thing on the daily chart, so that didn't really help at all. But going over here into the intraday charts, this is a trade I was looking at, but you see the semaphore hasn't formed down here yet to create that long over here. So probably after this thing does complete, it will form, but that's where it goes sometime, no big deal. There was a trade using these three right here, but it probably wasn't one I was taking, even if I had seen it. It would have gotten a little bit of profit. Say you get in about right up there, come down right there. It's about 33 ticks or so for a little profit right there. So that's basically the best trade we had looking at the crude oil markets today. I wish this thing go ahead and confirm so I could get into it, but it's pretty much too late now. It's getting ready to hit that right there, and that trade's going to be set up, assuming this is where the white semaphore forms for it. And then from there, what we'd be looking at is now using the red ones. If a red one does form up here, well, obviously then that's way too late. But this thing has just been kind of weird today in how late things are forming. You can see here was a really nice trade setup that would initiate it at 4 a.m. and then could have gotten back in real nicely at 5 a.m., but I was definitely asleep, came up and hit that one, and that ended in crude oil. So yeah, that's crude oil going into next week. We just have that one set up right here, waiting for that to come over and get hit, and then after that we'll see what happens. If this one right here turns into a red semaphore, let's draw the inside pitchfork over to it. Let's want to hide it. There we go. So if this turns into a red semaphore right here, which starts that trade set up, then we'll have a move, or it's going to say that the initial target is going to be down here to the downside, down around between $79, $80. But that's assuming that this one eventually becomes a red semaphore right there. It would have already started that down. So that's one thing to look out going in for next week if that does happen. Let's see here. Is that what I wanted? Yeah. Alrighty. And then lastly, go over to the Dow Jones right here. We'll go look at the oversold, overbought. Yeah, again, coming off the oversold, been oversold for 2 days now here in the 4-hour chart. And then in the daily, hasn't quite hit down there yet, but the 4-hour chart is definitely getting the signal that the market for both the S&P 500, Russell 2000, and the Dow Jones is completely oversold. If we go to the 1-hour chart over here, we have a couple things we're looking at right now. There's this long setup using that semaphore right there. You can see where we have that one set up. The initial target was supposed to hit this green line right up there, but as you can see, price came down, broke that low semaphore. So now the price, or the exit, is over here at that black line right there. So I didn't want to get too involved, too many long options to it. But when Monday opens up, if it is down Monday, I'll be looking at getting into an options position down here at the Dow Jones, and may even getting into it here on the futures contracts as well. Just don't want to over leverage myself too much. But then also what we had, I believe this is on the 15-minute chart. Tell you what, let me hide this to make it a little bit easier to see. I'll delete that. That's 5-minute chart. We'll go over that here in a minute. Let's see here. Nope. Okay, so then using these red semaphores, we did have a short setup, and the price broke out right there. I was looking for it to come all the way down here and hit it. It didn't quite hit the 1.618, so I'm not sure if I want to call that short one to be completely complete yet. I'm going to wait Monday to see what happens for it, but definitely I wouldn't be looking short it just because this is the target I have for it right there. But usually if it got maybe a little bit closer to it, I would call it complete, good enough for government work. But since it is just a little bit off of there, I'm not quite ready to say this thing's complete. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised if when it opens up Sunday going into Monday, if we do have a push down to complete that, and then we finally have that push up to come back here and hit that target up there. And then let's go to the 5-minute chart right here. There was a trade. This is the one I had, I believe, that I was looking at, seeing maybe at the end of the day you could get into it. So if there was a white semaphore that got created right up here, then that would be a valid short, to end the day right there, going back down perhaps about 60 ticks or so here in the Dow Jones. Complete that, but nothing's confirmed right now, and there's only about 12 minutes left in the real good trading time period. But again, it's Friday afternoon, so things have slowed down a ton. So nothing really happening over there for the end of the day. But yeah, those are it right now. Just to go over, for all the major markets. I didn't cover the Nasdaq. I don't trade the Nasdaq just because their margins are so high for it. So I don't really cover it right now. Eventually, I'll start trading it more, but just right now, I'm not trading it. So we're looking for the market to move back up here going into next week. Might not happen Monday, might not happen Tuesday, but definitely sometime next week. Definitely expect a good push pop up in all of the major markets. And then for oil's just kind of a no man's land right now. We're just waiting for this thing to go get filled, and then we'll start looking at a little bit of the lesser time frames. We'll see which red semaphore gets filled up here, and what things we can look at for crude oil going into next week. All right, have a good weekend. Take care. Bye.